Today we're using this rice cooker to try and make a whole 4-course meal. The rules are, everything needs to be cooked in the rice cooker. I'm only allowed to cook rice once. We need to try using the steamer. And for each course, I'm allowed to use one additional kitchen gadget. And this is all thanks to you guys, my audience. But if you're new to the channel, let me fill you in with the backstory. A little while ago, I bought this. It's a cheap plastic kitchen gadget, which is supposed to make perfect rice balls. However, when I tested it, the results were terrible. But my amazing community were quick to respond in the comments, telling me that my rice was far too soggy, and really, I should try a rice cooker. So in the following video, that's exactly what I did. My rice cooker was delivered the next day, and after some quick learning in how to use it, I made some perfect-looking rice, which in turn resulted in some perfect-looking rice balls. But now I've got a rice cooker that I didn't know I needed, so today we're going to see what else can we do with it. Let's go! First up, the appetizer. And we're going to see if we can use a rice cooker to cook dumplings. We're going to make them from scratch, so first up I need to tip a bit of plain white flour into a bowl, then slowly add a little bit of warm water, and mix them together to make a nice dough. Oh, I've just realised I should have probably added some salt, so I'll sprinkle some in now. And I think this is still a little bit dry, so I'm going to add a bit more water. And I have to knead it to make a nice dough. With it being a lot firmer now, I can knead it on the kitchen worktop. That's looking good. I'll put it back in the bowl and leave it for 10 minutes while I do the next step. We're going to make pork and cabbage dumplings. So to do this, I need to slice up a load of cabbage really finely. And with that done, I now need to tip this minced pork into a bowl. And now tip the cabbage on top. I'm also going to add 3 spring onions. Again, I want these cut up nice and finely. So I'm going over them a couple of times with a knife. Then add them in. Next I'm going to squirt in some of this garlic puree. And I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper. And now I can mix it all together. That's our dumpling filling made. Okay, so I've washed my hands. Now I'm going to take the dough we made earlier and roll it out into a long sausage. So to make the dumplings, I'm going to use this gadget, which you may have seen me review in a previous video. It is pretty cool. I'll show you how it works, and then we'll see, can we cook them in the rice cooker? So we need to cut off a bit of our dough, then roll it into a ball about this big. Place it into the middle of the gadget here, and then push down on the handle. Now I really like this gadget, but I found it a bit flimsy, and I found it best to push down here with a bit of extra pressure, then lift it up, and it's made our dumpling wrapper. Pretty cool, huh? Actually, this one's still a little bit small, so we can put it back in, squeeze it a little bit more, and then place it over on this side. Then take some of the filling we made, place it in the middle, and this bit's really cool. You fold over this half like this to crimp it together, push down quite firmly, then open it up, and we've made our first dumpling. Look at that. If there's any excess pastry around the edge, you can just pull it off. So I'm going to carry on quickly and make a whole load of these. And if you get any like this that haven't crimped properly, maybe they had a bit too much filling in, you can normally just finish it by hand. I've made 12 altogether, but what do you reckon? Can we actually cook them in a rice cooker? To start with, I'm going to squirt a little bit of oil into the bowl, then place a few inside. I can fit 4 in there quite comfortably. So let's put the lid on, switch it on, and then switch it over to cook mode. Okay, so they've been in a few minutes now. Let's turn them over and see what they look like. Ah, look at that. They're actually starting to go a little bit golden. That's exactly what I wanted. We'll leave them for another few minutes to do the same on the other side. It's been a couple of minutes, but I think it's getting a bit hot now because the cooker's just switched itself over to the keep warm setting. Let's have a little look. Ah, yeah, they've started going a bit golden on the other side too. And if I have a feel, yeah, they're definitely a little bit crispy, but to cook them through, I'm going to add 50 millilitres of water to the bowl. I'll pour that straight in. But I'm also going to try cooking some on top in the steamer basket. It should sit straight over the top of them here. Ah, perfect. And let's see how many we can comfortably sit inside. Okay, 6. I'll put the lid on, and I'll switch it to cook mode again. Let's see what happens. After a few minutes, the whole thing is full of steam. That's exactly what I was hoping for. But will they be cooked through enough and safe to eat? I'll be using this digital thermometer to check. Right, it's been a little bit over 10 minutes now. Let's lift the lid off, and you can see and hear they've been steaming away. They're looking great. But let's stick the thermometer straight into the middle of this one to see what temperature it's at. Wow, that's at 93 degrees C, so the meat inside should definitely be well cooked. I'll lift the basket out, and we'll be looking at these crispy ones in a minute. But these steamed ones look really cool. But what are they like inside? You can see it's a nice little parcel of meat, and these have been cooling down for a minute or so while I've been filming, but if I do a quick temperature check again, it's still at 70 degrees C, so I know they're absolutely cooked through and safe. And to serve them as an appetizer, I'm going to have a little bowl of soya sauce and also some sweet chili sauce. Then lay the dumplings out alongside. But how have these ones in the bowl turned out? Well, they're looking really good. Maybe I've left them in there a little bit too long actually. But it's nice to have the two different types of dumplings on offer, crispy and steamed. Let's dip this one into the soya sauce. You can see the pastry absorbs it nicely. And... oh wow, yeah! That's delicious! And a crispy one. I'll dip it into the sweet chili sauce. But does it have a crunch? Oh yeah, it really does. Well, I think that proves it. You can definitely make dumplings in a rice cooker. If you're enjoying the video, I've got loads more coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed because you won't want to miss them. And who knows, maybe with your help, one day we'll get this channel to 10 million subscribers. That would be amazing. But now, on to the next course. For the starter, we're going to try making a homemade soup, and I'm going to try and use the rice cooker to fry off some onion. So I carefully removed all of the peel from this one, and I only need to use half. But I'm going to dice it up into small pieces. And before we put that in, I'm going to melt some butter. So I cut a piece off and placed it into the bowl. Turn on the power, and I'm switching it onto the cook mode. And it only took a minute or two for it to melt. So now I can add my onion. As I lift the top off, you can see it fixed to the keep warm setting, because there's not enough weight holding the bowl down. But now I can add my onion, put the top back on, and I'm switching it back over to cook mode. After a few minutes, it's steaming nicely and the onions are beginning to cook. But I also want to add some garlic, so I took a clove, crushed it a little, and peeled it. And now I'm slicing it up into nice thin pieces. So let's add that in. And I need to switch it back to the cook mode again. And while that's cooking, I'm going to chop up half of this bell pepper as well. Again, I want it in nice small pieces. And with those all chopped up, let's remove the lid, give it a quick stir, and add the peppers. This time I'm putting the lid on, but I'm going to leave it on the keep warm setting for 5 minutes. And while that's stewing, I'm going to roughly cut up 3 large tomatoes and place them into this jug. And now for my secret weapon for this course. The kitchen gadget I'm going to use is this stick blender. Let's plug it in and see if we can puree all of these tomatoes. It takes a little bit of going over, but after a minute or two, they're well liquidized. Next we're going to remove the lid and take a look at this. They're really starting to cook nicely. But I'm putting on my oven glove and lifting the bowl out because I'm going to add all of this in with the tomatoes. Scoop it all in on top. And I'm going to use the stick blender again to blend it all together. The onion and the garlic should add some delicious flavour, and we should get a little bit of sweetness from the pepper too. Now that's looking really good, so next I'm going to pour it back into the rice cooker. Scrape out those last few bits because we don't want to waste any. And I'm going to switch it back over to cook mode to heat it up quickly. And to add some additional depth, I'm drizzling in some Worcestershire sauce. And now I'm going to take a vegetable stock cube, but I only want to add half of this. So I cut it in half and dropped it in. Give it a little bit of a mix. And I'm also adding a little bit of salt. And with that all mixed in nicely, let's return the lid and leave it to heat up. After a few minutes, I could see it was starting to boil. So let's switch it over to the keep warm setting. And I'm going to leave it like this for another 10 or 15 minutes. Right, let's take a look. Wow, well it's actually looking and smelling delicious. I can't wait to try it. Let's ladle some out into this little bowl. And to serve it, I'm going to drizzle around a little cream and add some fresh basil. And there's the starter. I'm pretty happy with that, but don't forget to let me know your rating in the comments. Now for the main course, I'm going to try making 1 pot teriyaki salmon with rice and vegetables. Maybe I'm being a little bit ambitious, but let's see if we can pull it off. First up, I'm making teriyaki sauce to marinate the salmon. I'm pouring some soya sauce into a bowl, and also some toasted sesame oil. I'm not measuring anything out for these, just adding a little bit of each. Next I'm going to squirt in some of this runny honey. Whoa, look at that! Then we need to add a squirt of this garlic puree. And I also want to add some fresh ground ginger. Now this is where I'm going to need the help of another kitchen gadget. Do you remember seeing this before? It's actually 8 different kitchen gadgets in one, and they stack into the shape of a bottle. Each layer does something different. This green layer is the ginger grinder. You can see it's covered in little bubbles. But first we need to peel a section of the ginger. Now this is one of my favourite tips. You don't need any fancy gadgets to do this. You can just use a teaspoon. And with that section now peeled, I can start making the ginger paste. You just keep rubbing it over the surface, and it starts making a lovely fine paste. I've probably got about 2 teaspoons worth here. So let's add that into the bowl. And I'm going to use a fork to mix it all together. That's our teriyaki sauce made. So let's open the salmon, and I'm going to carefully remove the skin from the bottom of the fillet. There we go, a nice clean bit of salmon, which I can sit in the bowl to marinate for 10 minutes. And while it's marinating, we can start getting the rice ready. So I'll fill up this little measuring cup that came with the cooker, and pour it into the bowl. But this time I'm not going to wash the rice in a sieve again, I'll wash it in a bowl like this. Thanks to all of you who commented to let me know I was doing it wrong. And now the water's running out pretty clear, we need to fill it up to the number 1 marking on the side. Then place the bowl into the rice cooker. Now I'm going to switch it on and flick it over onto cook mode, and I'm going to try using this steamer to cook the salmon. So let's sit it on the top and add the salmon inside. It's been marinating for about 10 minutes, so it should be nice and flavoursome. And any juices that dribble out while it's cooking should run through to underneath and flavour the rice. Next I'm going to prepare the vegetables. So I'm going to peel this carrot, and then using a sharp knife I'm going to cut it into long thin pieces. You do need to be careful doing this because the blade is close to your fingers. But that's looking great. And I'm going to do the same sort of thing with this spring onion. I don't really want to cook these, I want to keep them al dente, but we will be warming them through later. But now let's check on the salmon. It's been cooking for about 5 minutes and is looking really nice. I'm going to leave it cooking for another 5 minutes, but first I'm going to throw in a handful of this kale as well. This should steam nicely alongside of the salmon. It's been about 5 minutes now, and it's just switched over onto the keep warm mode. So the rice is cooked, and if we open the top, it's looking really good in here too. I'm just going to push the kale over a bit to make some space to put these carrots in. And I'll put the spring onions alongside. But let's place the top back on and leave them in here for a few minutes to warm through. And while that's happening, I'm taking some corn flour and I'm going to mix about half a teaspoon into the leftover teriyaki sauce marinade that we made earlier. We're going to use this to make a drizzle to go on top of the dish. Right, okay, I'm going to place this cooling rack down, and with all the vegetables now warmed up, I think we're ready to serve. To start, I'm going to place the steamer down onto this rack. Then remove the rice bowl, and I'm going to scoop some straight into a bowl. But, oh wow! Look at this, I've actually kind of burnt the rice on the bottom. That's really odd, I wasn't expecting that. It's not really burnt, it's just going a little bit crispy. I must have left it hot for a little bit too long. But at least it easily comes out. I washed it very quickly and put it back into the cooker, then tipped in the marinade sauce we made earlier. Place the lid on and switch it over to cook for a couple of minutes. And while that's heating through, I'm going to serve the vegetables and the salmon. A pair of tongs come in really useful for doing this. Now this has been simmering for a minute. Let's give it a little mix. And we can drizzle it over the food. The corn flour we mixed in has thickened it up a little. And there we are, teriyaki salmon with rice and vegetables all cooked in a rice cooker. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments. I'm really pleased with this, it's definitely something I'll be cooking again. The salmon and the veg have all come out really nicely, and the rice has too, but it was a bit strange having that crispy bit at the bottom of the pan. If you know what I did wrong, let me know in the comments. Now for dessert, I'm going to try making a banana cake with warm custard and strawberries. So I've got a bunch of ingredients ready, and we're going to start by peeling 3 ripe bananas into a bowl. Now I'm going to use this to give them a good mash. Okay, now they're all nice and slimy, I'm going to add in 2 eggs. Oh dear, I've got it. And I'm adding in 50 millilitres of milk and 50 millilitres of olive oil. Next, I'm going to drizzle in a little bit of vanilla extract, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 tablespoon of soft brown sugar. And I'm going to give this all a good mix with a spoon. Next I'm going to measure out about 100 grams of self-raising flour. Just a little bit over, but that's fine. Tip it in, and mix it all together. That's actually looking a bit too runny, so I'm going to add in a little bit more flour to thicken it up. Mix that in, and yeah, that's a far better consistency. So now the mixture is ready, I'm going to coat the bowl with some olive oil spray. Hopefully this will stop the cake from sticking, and now I can pour the mixture in. What do you reckon? It still looks a bit runny to me. Surely rice cookers are not designed for this. If it works, I'm going to be amazed. Right, let's put it into the cooker and switch it on. Flick it onto cook mode and place the lid on. Okay, so it's been baking for nearly 10 minutes now and it's just switched itself over onto the keep warm mode. Let's take the lid off and have a look. Okay, that definitely does not look baked. I'll try poking a skewer in, and oh, it's not baked at all yet. Well, that's not really a surprise, so I guess we just put the lid back on and switch it back over to cook mode. Okay, so it's been about another 7 minutes and it switched over to the keep warm mode, but this time I'm going to leave it on the keep warm setting for about 10 minutes, because it should continue to bake, and then I'm going to switch it back over to the cook mode. Right, so I've left it baking in between the keep warm mode and the cook mode for a few cycles now, so it's been baking for about half an hour, and it's looking a lot better. And look at that, on the skewer it's nearly baked. It's still a little bit gooey in the middle though, so I'll put it on for another cycle. Right, I've done another couple of cycles, so it's been baking for about 45 minutes now, and check it out, nothing's sticking to the skewer anymore. I think it's finally baked. Brilliant, let's try and turn it out onto this plate. I'll turn it over and give it a bit of a shake. And, I think that's it. Wow, check that out. That's properly steaming. I've got to say, that looks good. Which way round's better though? I'll turn it over the other way. It looks a bit like a coffee cake. But while it's cooling down for a minute, I'm going to try cooking some custard. This should heat up nice and easily in the rice cooker. I gave the bowl a quick clean. And we can just flick it over onto the cook mode for a couple of minutes. Right, let's cut into the cake and see what it's like. Wow, that's looking nice. It is quite spongy. I'll put it on a plate. And now the custard started to boil, I'll switch it off and give it a stir. And I'm going to ladle some straight out and over the cake. God, that's looking good. And I'm going to add a couple of strawberries to the top too. So, what do you reckon? Steaming warm banana cake and custard. I'm pretty pleased with how that's turned out, but is it nice? Well, yeah it is, but I guess you'll just have to try making it yourself to find out. But what's nice is there's loads left over, and the next day I had an idea on how to serve it differently. You can cut yourself a nice big slice, but then cut it down the middle like this. We're going to turn this into a tart. This time I'm just going to spoon some cold custard onto the top like this. You can spread it a little with a knife, and then layer on some slices of strawberries and banana. A banana cake tart. And of course, you could do this while it was still warm. Make sure you give me your feedback in the comments section. Tell me which course you liked best, and if you're going to try making any. Also, let me know what you'd like me to try next. But now, if you'd like to see how I used different kitchen gadgets to make food from around the world, you can click on the link here. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Have fun, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.